Hello everyone. In last video, we have discussed about the first type of inflorescence, that is racemose. Okay, in racemose inflorescence, generally peduncle or main axis show unlimited growth, and arrangement of the flowers are acropetal. That means older flower is at the base while younger flower found is at the apex. Okay, and order of opening of flower is centripetal. That means peripheral flower open first and then arrow move towards the center. Okay, now in this video I'm going to talk about the next type of inflorescence, that is cymose inflorescence. Okay, so this is the last video in which I'm going to talk about the inflorescence, and cymose is the type in which completely opposite condition is present as that of the racemose. That means order of arrangement of the flower in this case is basipetal. Okay, that means old flower is present at the apex or at the tip of the peduncle, while younger flowers are present at the base. Okay, that means when we move from top to bottom, the flower size goes on decreasing. So it is called as basipetal succession. Then the opening of the flower happen in centrifugal manner. That means central flowers or the top flower open first, and then arrow move towards the periphery. Okay, so we move from away from the center. So it is called as centrifugal type of opening. Then cymose type of inflorescence, also known as finite type of inflorescence. Why we call it as a finite? Because the central branch or peduncle terminate into the flower. That means at the tip of the peduncle, flower is present. So that apical bud no longer have ability to grow. So the peduncle show limited growth. That's why we call it as a finite type of inflorescence. Opposite to it, racemose is infinite type of inflorescence. That means in case of racemose inflorescence, central axis or peduncle do not have flower at the tip, so it grows continuously. So we call it as infinite, but in this case, the central axis or peduncle show flower at the top, so we call it as a finite inflorescence. Before starting with the different subtype of cymose inflorescence, we should understand the meaning of these three important words. That is basipetal succession. That means old flower is at the top and young flower is at the base. Then centrifugal order of the opening of the flower. That means central flower open first and then arrow move towards the periphery. And the third case is finite type of inflorescence. That means the central axis or reproductive branch or peduncle show limited growth because tip is terminated due to flower. Okay, now depending upon number of the branches present in the inflorescence, cymose type divided into three main subtypes. Okay, that means cymose inflorescence have three subtypes. The first is uniparous cyme for cymose, and uniparous means in this type of the inflorescence, the group of a flower has only one branch or only one peduncle. Okay, so each flower will going to produce on single branch. So it is called as uniparous type of cymose inflorescence. This inflorescence is also known as monochasial. Okay, what is monochasial? The meaning remains same. Mono means single, and chasial, that is the branch. Okay, single branch develop, and on each branch single flower going to produce. So it is called as monochasial cyme. And this uniparous or monochasial cymose type of inflorescence again divided into two subtypes. That is helicoid and scorpioid. So first we are going to see what is meant by helicoid type of uniparous cyme. In helicoid, the central axis or the main reproductive branch called peduncle terminated into flower. That means at the top of the peduncle, flower is produced. Okay, and now in case of helicoid, single branch is developed on each peduncle. Suppose first branch is developed like this on the central axis. Now this branch will also going to terminate in flower. Okay. Similarly, now this secondary branch also going to produce tertiary branch, and now this tertiary branch again show flower at the tip. When we move from top to bottom, the flower size goes on decreasing. Now this tertiary branch again produce quaternary branch, and now the quaternary branch also going to have single flower at the tip. Due to this flower, the growth of the branch is going to limited. So it is called as finite type of inflorescence. And you can see here, if the first branch develop on the left side of the main axis, then all other branches will going to develop on the left side of a previous branch. If the first branch develop on the right side of the main axis, then all other branches will going to develop in the same manner. So either single branch present on the left or on the right of the central axis. So it is called as helicoid. What is helicoid? Helicoid means a helical arrangement of the branches, like the arrangement found in the DNA. Okay, so that you can find here the all other branches are arranged in helicoid fashion on the same side. If the first branch appear on the right side, then second, tertiary, and quaternary branches will also going to appear on the right side. Okay, and if the first branch appear on the left side, then all other branches will going to produce on the left side. Now, just to maintain the posture of the plant body, now this central axis sometime bend towards the opposite direction, so that all other branches come quite right. Okay, and due to which plant can have a proper orientation. Okay, and this type of structure is present in the plant like Hamelia. Okay, so example of the helicoid type of inflorescence is Hamelia plant. Remember that in this case single branch develop, and all the branches develop on the same side of the central branch. Now in case of scorpioid type of inflorescence, it is also a type of monochasial or uniparous type of inflorescence, so that when a central axis terminate into flower, then if the primary branch produce on the right side of the axis, that will going to terminate into flower, then zigzag arrangement of branches will going to produce. So zigzag arrangement is nothing but the scorpioid type of inflorescence. That means now secondary branch will going to produce, if the primary branch is on the right side of the main axis, now secondary branch will be the left side of the primary branch. Okay, so now this secondary branch will going to produce another flower. Similarly, now the tertiary branch is on the right side of the secondary branch, terminate into flower. Quaternary branch again on the left side, and same thing happen with all other branches. Only difference is that all branches going to arise in zigzag or alternate fashion. First branch arise right side to the primary axis or peduncle. Now the second branch arise on the left of the primary branch. Tertiary branch arise on the right of the secondary branch, and the pattern goes on. And this type of arrangement is a zigzag fashion, which is nothing but the scorpioid type of inflorescence. An example in which this type of arrangement found is cotton plant. Okay. Now these two are the type of uniparous or monochasial sign. That means the central branch will going to produce single branch, primary branch, and now primary branch will also going to produce single secondary branch, and pattern continues. If the branches produce on the same side, either on the right or on the left, it is called as helicoid, and if the branches produce on the zigzag fashion, either on the right or left side, it is called as scorpioid type of inflorescence. Now the next type of inflorescence, which is a subtype of cymose, is biparous cyme. What is biparous? Bi means two. Okay, so in case of uniparous, single branch produced from the primary axis or main axis. Now in biparous cyme, two branches produced from the peduncle. Okay, so it is also called as dichasial cyme. The other name of uniparous is monochasial. Similarly, biparous is also known as dichasial. And if we draw the dichasial type of inflorescence, if this is the primary axis or main reproductive branch, that is peduncle, now the peduncle will going to terminate with flower at the tip. Okay, and now two branches are arise at a time from the peduncle. Okay, so in this case only one branch arise, but in case of biparous, two branches arise from the peduncle, and each branch terminate in flower. Now every branch which is a primary branch of the main axis now also going to produce secondary branches, but in pair manner. So that means two branches also going to produce on the primary axis simultaneously, and these two branches also going to have flower at the tip. Remember that primary, secondary and tertiary branch will going to have younger flower or small size flower when we compare with the previous flowers. Okay, now these secondary branches also going to produce tertiary branches in couple. Okay, so two branches will be produced from each previous branch, and each branch also going to have flower. So this is the characteristic feature of biparous or dichasial cyme, in which two branches produce simultaneously from the main axis. Okay, and the pattern continues, and each branch will going to have younger flower on the terminal or on the tip. Okay, and example of the plant in which this type of inflorescence is found is jasmine. And now the third type or the last type is multiparous cyme. Okay, so name itself tell, multi means generally in this case more than two branches from each previous branch. Okay, so it is also called as polychasial cyme. Okay, poly means many, and now we can easily draw the multiparous cyme. Okay, so this is the primary axis or peduncle, and now primary axis will going to have flower at the tip, and now this primary axis will going to produce many branches, generally more than two branches simultaneously from a single point, and each branch will going to have flower at the terminal end. Now if these branches or the primary branches produce secondary branches, then they will also going to produce branches in groups more than two. and every branch will going to have its own flower. And the example of the plant in which multiparous cyme is found is Calotropis. So this is all about the three different type of cymose type of inflorescence, and this type is on the basis of number of sub branches originated from the main axis or from the peduncle. If the peduncle produces single branch every time, it is called as uniparous, which is again divided into two subtypes, that is helicoid and scorpioid. In case of helicoid, all other branches produce on the same side, either on the right side or on the left side of the main axis. Now in the second type, that is biparous or dichasial, two branches produce from the each previous axis simultaneously, and all the branches will going to have flower younger than the previous branch. And now the last type is multiparous or polychasial. In this case, multiple branches arise from the previous axis. That means peduncle will going to give more than two branches, and now each branch will going to have multiple branches on it, and each branch terminate in the flower. So this is all about the second type of inflorescence, that is cymose inflorescence. In this way, we have finished with the point of inflorescence in detail. We have seen the introduction and racemose and cymose inflorescence along with their subtypes. Thank you.